From a bold exterior to an insulated interior, we're breaking down the cost of this 40 by 50 metal building with a lean-to and all of its accessories.
Stick around, this one's worth every penny.
Welcome back, Pack. It's Anadela and Argenis here once again for another pricing video where we're discussing a building that is located in Weatherford, Texas, so very close to our headquarters. Argenis actually was out there to get some shots and go out there with the marketing team, so lots of information on there. It's very unique. Our standard color is black and white, but it also does have a very unique spray foam.
That's right, Anadela. I'm super excited to be back on the video and back on YouTube going over pricing. Honestly, helping clients understand what's behind our pricing and the process behind these awesome buildings never gets old.
Yes, I think that's the fun part that we like to hear from you guys is like, why are the customers doing that? Sometimes we'll be like, that's a different design. Why is it that that's happening? And it's like, oh, they're actually doing this. I think I asked you about one this morning. I was like, why is it that they're doing something? You're like, oh, they have an RV enclosing certain parts. So definitely a fun part of the job, but also we love to translate it from here. Obviously here for marketing, our job is to make sure that you guys see what it is that we offer, what it is that's possible with these buildings, and also what that can cost you, because obviously budget is one of the biggest things that you guys look at.
100%. If you haven't already watched the walk around this project or the interview I did with the clients, please do. The links will be on the video. Definitely hands down one of my favorite projects we've done so far. No bias.
Don't forget to also follow all of our social media platforms. My team will definitely be popping those up for you guys. We post behind the scenes. We posted a little bit of like when you guys were out there, some of the tour. The clients actually had a lot of people end up showing up, so it kind of ended up being a whole tour for a bunch of people. So all that was posted on our social media. That way you guys can get ideas of what's coming up next and some insights of some of the projects that we have. So don't forget to follow all of that, and let's get this video started. So as we know, WolfSteel Buildings is located here in Fort Worth. This is where our office is at. We do fabricate out of Weatherford, and we only service certain parts of Texas, so the coverage area should be popping up for you guys. But for this project at Argenis, I think our client got pretty much everything that we offer.
That's right. We did, of course, I did the building, the concrete, the site preparation, the color spray foam, the custom overhead doors, the gutters, and downspouts. Pretty much everything we offer.
Yeah, that's pretty much right. But all of this, how much did that cost the client?
Great question. So we're going to get straight to it. The total cost for this project came out to be $173,690.52. But as I mentioned, they had a lot of options and upgrades on this building. So we'll break it down everything here, because some clients that might be watching might want the same things this client has selected.
Correct. And that's the whole point of these videos, to make sure that, you know, sometimes you see this building, you're like, well, I don't really need this, or I don't really need this. I don't need that lean-to that the client got. I don't need that steep of a roof pitch. So definitely things that we have on here. So let's get down into the nitty-gritty of what is the building itself.
The Texas metal building is a 40 feet wide, 50 feet long, 15 feet tall red iron weld up. It has a 612 roof pitch with a 2 feet overhang all around the building. He specifically asked for this since he wants to have a car lift inside. He wanted to get additional height without adding the height of the building itself. So he asked for the steeper roof pitch.
Yeah, and I think this pitch gives, like, the pitch and the 2 foot overhang definitely gives it a different look. We've had this in past buildings before, and it kind of ties it in together, makes it look a lot more residential, and it kind of gives it that different, and I think it matches his home pretty well from, so again, the tour and all that should be up, so make sure that you guys watch it, but it matches pretty well.
Yes, it does. It really does. It's fully enclosed with 26 gauge PVR panels, which is our standard for red iron buildings. It also has a 14 feet wide, 50 feet long lean-to the right side of the building.
Yeah, and I think this lean-to is really neat. Again, we have started seeing a lot more of these. It's enclosed only in a certain section, so only about 16 feet is enclosed, and it gives it kind of like that little porch look, just like that little section, but you're still able to use that back section. So really, really different. We started just recently seeing it probably in the last 2 to 3 projects.
Yeah, a little bit over 16 feet is enclosed, plus you got the lean-to to match the roof pitch of the building. So the lean-to also has a 612 roof pitch.
The team should already be popping this up, but so we kind of already know the colors, but but what are the colors that we have for this building?
Yes, ma'am. The colors the client went with is black roof, black trim, and a timeless combo, which is white panels.
And you guys should be seeing that pop up here. Definitely gives it a very modern look. Goes with a lot of those new homes that are being built. I don't know if the customer, y'all probably know, right? Because you guys were out in his location, but sometimes some of these newer homes have that modern look and very neutral. Black and white building definitely ties everything together.
Yes, it does. So let's talk numbers. What's the cost of the lean-to in the main building?
Yeah, so the cost for just the building section came out to... So that includes everything that we already mentioned, which Argenis will go over one more time for you guys.
It's a 40 feet wide, 50 feet long, 16 feet tall with a 612 roof pitch, 2 feet overhang around the whole building with a 14 feet deep, 50 feet long lean-to that's half enclosed and half open.
Yeah, so again, everything that he just mentioned and materials delivery. We also painted the frame on the lean-to, and then the lean-to also has a 612 pitch roof which matches the main building. And then apart from that, we include everything that is equipment, which is required for all our red iron installations, the labor for the installation, delivery, tax, porta potty fees, pretty much every single thing. This is a turnkey price if you're looking to get just the building.
Quick heads up pack, we did not mention the price of the concrete in the video. That cost should be popping up now. This includes a 6-inch slab for the main building, 4 inches for the lean-to, of course, all of our notch edge detailing around the perimeter, door notches, vapor barrier, and interior and perimeter footers. The client did want to add a lift, which meant we needed to add squares in certain areas of the concrete. All of this is included in the price of $36,737.
Very solid, just like our concrete team likes to say, it is a solid setup. So one thing I would like to mention, guys, is we do have new products coming on the concrete foundation side. You will be seeing more videos on that explains what it is that we're bringing around for you guys to see. And also on our website, you will be able to read more information on this.
Yes, one thing that I want you guys to keep in mind as well is that this specific concrete slab was not engineered. So it did help on price and it also helped on timelines, but it was still very, very reinforced.
Correct. And we also had a concrete approach added at Argenis. Do you want to talk a little bit about what that was for the client?
Yes, we did add a concrete approach on this specific project. It wasn't on the original price. We actually added it during the site visit. So when we did the site visit, if clients is looking for extra concrete, we can absolutely add it to the concrete order. So yes, that was something that we added. Turned out to be good. A couple things the client did mention that there was a couple things on this drainage, and we are going back to see what we can do to help the client on that.
Yeah, so once things are kind of finished out, you have your building. He actually has a retaining wall in the back that he did himself, so it's not something that's included. We also don't include the driveway portion in the price that we gave you here, and that is just because it's specific to each site. Again, y'all site visit, that's why it is very, very crucial. And then we do tend to like for the client to be there during the site visits. We can go over different information, in this case specifically the drainage. You know, we're going to make a couple of changes to that he wants adjusted on there. Another big thing that I want to mention that the client has is gutters and downspouts, which also help with that drainage around the building now that the building is installed.
Yes, that's right. We always recommend doing a site visit to check the elevation, grading, and drainage before finalizing any plans. We don't include site prep on our base price because every property is different from every property. So we'll have to do the site visit before we lock into the concrete pricing. If you're liking this video, make sure to like and subscribe.
Yeah, guys, so we're gonna get into what my favorite part is when we talk about metal buildings, and that is those upgrades and those accessories. Makes the building a lot more yours. I always peek over at the salesman and I'm like, you guys have an all blacked out building, or all you guys have these really cool overhead doors. So definitely my favorite part on here, but also the part that adds the most to your project. So Argenis, can you go over a little bit about that?
Yes, of course. We did 3-inch on the roof, painted black, and 2-inch on the walls, ice gray. This client went all out for the installation of this building.
Yeah, actually, that was actually what threw me off. You guys were just there at the customer site. You guys did do a tour and and the interview with the client. But it actually threw me off because I saw the pictures and we were like, oh my gosh, it's black and white. And it wasn't black and white. It was actually gray. The color just looked white in the picture. So we actually had to do a clarification on that. In one of the videos, Abdul corrected me on that.
Originally, the client actually was going to do 2-inch all around, but changed at last minute because he planned to add 2 mini splits, units, and a pellet stove inside the building.
Yeah, so we actually have a video where we go over this information. We actually talk about spray foam itself with the standard yellow color and also those color options that you guys are seeing more and more on our channel. At Handy's, I think you've had a couple of clients that have had those upgrades. White was normal, gray. Did you sell the unicorn gray?
Yes, it was me.
Yeah. So the unicorn gray that Advil loves on there. So definitely you've been seeing more on that. We do have a video that did go live. At the time that this one goes out, it should be about 1 to 2 weeks ago. But so it should be on our channel. So make sure you guys click on the link above and down below if you guys do want to watch that. But I also want to go ahead and point out, going back to this project, is the gutter system that he does have on here. We mentioned that he painted that frame on the lean-to, so just that little side that's exposed, and it matches those gutters pretty well, which goes hand in hand with all the color scheme that he has all around.
That's right. The total cost for all the accessories, including the spray foam, black gutters, and downspouts, and sales tax, is $36,534.
Another big thing that makes your building pop, and I was mentioning it earlier, is of course adding those customized overhead doors, the walk-in doors, and also those windows that can be upgraded to be insulated. So he did have multiple of these on there. Do you want to go over of what that total cost is before we go over the building?
Yes, man, of course. The total for all doors and windows came out to a total of $20,451.
Yeah, so with that, he did go with the 2 doors in the front, which are the 14x14 overhead doors. They're not the standard doors. They are painted black, and they do also have windows on there. I heard that you were dogging on Advil and then because they're a little bit shorter. Fun fact, I'm actually standing on a step stool so I can make sure that I don't look that little next to him. And you were like, the windows, you can move the way that the windows are customized.
Yes, great point, Anadela. Decide where you want the windows to be on the panels on your garage doors. If you want them to be higher to catch the light, or if you want them to be eye level so you can see inside the building. He went with 2 14x14 garage overhead doors, like she mentioned, painted black. You already mentioned that.
They do come standard white and with no windows. So good thing that you pointed out that. I don't want to stand next to that door. So I don't even want to stand next to a Henny sometimes without the steps still starting down. But he also got the walk-in doors.
Yes, he did. He got 2 36x84 steel insulated walk-in doors. Originally, it was just going to be 1 in the building, but my building manager was inspecting the building, and while we were constructing the building, the enclosed section in the main building, there was no point to get to the main building from the enclosed section. So that was something that my building manager, shout out to Javier, offered the client to add that walk-in door, and we did.
So it's typically one of the things that we like to catch during the order form process, and we also like to notify the clients. Some of these things I think aren't really realized. So if you're getting an overhead door, or if you're getting a roll-up door that is chain hoisted, the entry for you to get into these buildings, you need an additional point of entry. Why? Because to open the buildings, that is done from the inside. So the chain hoist for the roll-up doors, that is from the inside of the building. And also, unless you have an opener for the overhead doors, you need to open them from the inside. So if you have no other point of entry, you need another point. That's where the additional sometimes cost on there. But he did get a 9x7 roll-up door.
Yes.
And that's on the main building?
Yes, he added a 9x7 roll-up door. It's not on the main building, it's on the enclosed section on the lean-to.
Oh.
The 9x7 roll-up door does have a brush seal kit, which it comes standard for all roll-up doors. What it is, it just prevents any bugs, any dust, anything from going into the building, since roll-up doors have gaps around the roll-up door itself.
Correct. And that's just due to the nature of the door.
Yes.
So nature of the door rolls up into a barrel. So when it's all fully rolled up, that space that's typically given at the top for that door when it's fully rolled up shows space when it's open. And also it's corrugated steel. So that's going to give it all around that open light, which is where the brush seals comes into play on there. Adding everything up on Henny's. Oh wait, I can't forget the windows. Windows, very important. It does have a lot of windows on there.
Yes, it does. For the windows, the client added 5 36x36 inch insulated double pane windows, 2 on the left side, 2 on the right side, 1 in the back, and they're all double pane insulated windows, which help with the energy efficient standard with our red iron buildings.
Correct. So, and also not just red iron, also our tubular. We do like to point out when you're getting spray foam, very, very important, especially if you're looking to thermal control your building to have all those thermal controlled accessories. So I think that's probably something that you probably mentioned with the client when you were talking to him.
Yes, ma'am.
Getting all these on there. So the biggest thing that we're going to be going over here, adding everything up, building, concrete, all of those custom doors in the black and gray, installation, and then doors, windows. What are we looking at for final cost?
Yes, man. The total project cost for this came out to $173,690.52. That includes, like Anadela was saying, everything: material, labor, tax, delivery, equipment, you name it.
Yeah, again, once again, I would like to point out the price can vary by location, and then also it is only valid for 5 days after the post date. One thing that WolfSteel is known for is we do offer both red iron and tubular metal buildings, so two different product lines. If the client would have gone with the tubular at Henny's, you're the salesman representative here, so what would that have cost?
Yeah, so if we went tubular on this project, the total would have been $159,730. That includes everything we mentioned and also includes labor, material, tax, concrete, and equipment.
So one thing I actually would like to point out, and I know that you guys are pretty familiar with this, is the price difference is also always like on the buildings themselves, the material. But this client did get a lot of upgrades, which you should be seeing the pop-up of the difference between red iron and tubular. We still added on the tubular options, we still added those custom overhead doors, the gutters and downspouts. We did also add those 36 by 84 steel doors and the windows. So all of the upgrades, which are kind of the expensive cost, right? Because those are customized, are still added on there, which is still what keeps the price pretty close to what we're seeing there. And then of course there is also equipment for a building like the one that we have here, because that building is a 40 wide going into that commercial trussing, and of course the height, the 612, we're still needing equipment for the safety of our installers. But overall, I think this building had so much things at Henny's. I think it looks great. I'm super excited for all the B-rolls to be popping up on here. I'm really excited for the tour and the interview that you guys did with the client.
Yeah, no, hands down, honestly, this whole experience working with these clients was amazing. They were super, super, super nice and pleasing to work with, not only from the sales department to the building, to the concrete, to processing, everything. They were awesome. I was honored to sit down with them and speak regarding the project. We actually have an interview on our YouTube channel, so please make sure to check that out.
And that's kind of the beauty of working with us here at WolfSteel Buildings. We try to make sure that we help you guys through every point of the process, especially because a project like this, obviously we know it's a very large investment, but it's also a time. So it's also something that's going to take up minimum 1 to at least 2 months of your timeline. You mentioned there was no permits here, but if there is permits, that adds to the time. If it's engineered, you mentioned we didn't have that with this client, but obviously you're getting concrete, you're getting the building, you're getting the spray foam, you're getting the spray foam painted because that's an upgrade. So lots of things, even getting your doors, things like that add on to your project. That's the beauty of working with us. We try to make sure that we take care of you guys from start to finish. At Henny's was the salesman on this project, which he was the one who kind of helped the client. So if you're looking to work with that Henny's, his information should be on the board for y'all.
Thank you so much. We'll be more than glad to help you guys achieve your dream building. Big shout out to our building team, to just our WolfSteel crew, from our concrete to permits, even though we didn't have permits on this. Big shout out to them, because without them, we wouldn't have any of these projects.
Also, huge shout out to my marketing team, because they make it all happen to be able to see all of the cool projects that you guys are working on, that the building team's working on, concrete team, everything that you guys are seeing, so that you guys can get ideas on what it is that we are building here.
Yes, huge shout out to marketing. Stick around, there's more awesome buildings coming your way. We haven't stopped making them. You don't want to miss them.
Yes, of course. And don't forget to drop a comment down below, guys, if there's anything that you guys want to hear, whether that be educational videos or that be more on the project side, getting ideas, or if maybe you're like, hey, have you guys ever done this? That way we're like, oh yes, we have. Let's go see if we can talk to that client and go out and visit it. So that way you guys can see what it is that clients are either doing with their building, or that they've already done. Drop them down below, and we will see you guys in the next one.